How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Financial Endeavors channel. This video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be standing in front of the camera today because I'm going to be discussing something that's personal, how I started from making $0 to $100,000 in the stock market. And this video isn't to boast or anything. I just want to show you how possible it is to really make good money in the stock market. And it's not as hard as you may think. It does take a lot of time and research and discipline, and I didn't get here without mistakes along the way. So also in this video I'm going to discuss some of the mistakes I made and some of the biggest accomplishments I made investing in the stock market. Whenever I got started, it wasn't an easy start. I made a lot of mistakes and learned from them in the long run, but if I didn't turn away from old habits, I probably wouldn't be as successful as I am now. So in this video, I want to recall back on how I got started investing in the stock market and kind of show you step by step what I did right, what I did wrong, and how I improved from it. So as of today, I have $100,000 invested in the stock market, and it took me about 3 years, a little over 3 years. March of 2017 is whenever I got started. But in this video, I'm going to take you back to March of 2017 and show you how I got started. I remember like it was yesterday. It was March of 2017, and I was at work. Me and my coworker were just talking, trying to pass the time by, and somehow we went on the subject of investing in the stock market. And I remember he was saying how much money he was making investing in stocks. At the time, I didn't really know much about investing, and I was just saving money in my savings account. And my coworker, explained to me about the concept of investing in stocks and the differences in a brokerage account and a retirement account. And he kind of, got me jump started on investing. And he really intrigued me on the possibilities of investing in the stock market and how much money you can make investing in the stock market. So it piqued my interest, and that night I went home and did some research. I started watching a lot of YouTube videos and finally got started in investing. I opened up a brokerage account and put in the $9,000 that I had saved up and started investing. So whenever I got started investing, I didn't necessarily start out very well. I had the wrong mindset. So I sort of fell in the trap that most investors usually fall in, and that's the short and easy money. So short-term mindset and trying to, get a quick buck. And it's what a lot of investors, beginner investors, usually start in and fall in. The day trading, the swing trading. They think it's so easy, and you just have to pick the right stock, and it's easy money. But I learned quickly that that's not how it works, and most people fail at that type of strategy. I kind of got caught in that trap of short-term investing because pretty much everything in the stock market was going up in 2017. If you look at a chart, it's ridiculous at how much the market was going up. It was that you had that buy to dip mentality, and it seemed like everything was going up. So I sort of fell into that trap of swing trading and day trading and not really worrying about investing for the long term. Also, my concept of valuing stocks was completely wrong. I just looked at the stock price and felt, okay, this stock is $10. It must be cheap, and it could go up to $40, and I can make a good return. This is not how you value a stock. I didn't know anything about PE ratio, EPS, PEG ratio, market capitalization. I didn't know anything. I just look at the stock price and I was like, okay, this stock must be cheap. Let me invest in it. And the stock price does not matter in a company's valuation. I remember the first stock I invested in, it was some kind of biopharmaceutical company that I remember seeing because the stock price went up, I think, buy a lot in one day, and I was like, okay, this stock has momentum, it's gonna keep on going up, and I invested in it not knowing anything about the company, what it did, the company's financials. I didn't read the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow statement. I had no idea like the earnings of this company, and it's really scary thinking about this, now, because I could have it could have ended a lot worse than it ended up being. But at the time, it was sort of working out for me. I was making a little bit of money doing like the swing trades, but over time, my losses started becoming bigger than my gains. And after seeing this, I was like, okay, I need to stop investing into these companies that I have no idea are about, and I need to start investing on things that I know. So I started looking at the larger companies. But I still had that wrong mindset of short-term investing, and eventually I went down the path that a lot of investors go down, is margin trading and day trading. Those two kind of go hand in hand, and it was really bad. In 2018, I started to double down on day trading and swing trading, and then also trading on margin. And for those that don't know what margin is, it's essentially you're taking out debt to invest in stocks. Your brokerage firm gives you the money, the debt, and you have to repay that over time. So whenever you sell that stock, you'll repay the brokerage firm, and then the profits or losses will be yours. So it could greatly enhance your gains or greatly exacerbate your losses. And for me, it greatly exacerbated my losses. So after the carnage of 2018, I was like, enough is enough. I need to change my strategy. I need to do something, because this type of investing was not working for me, and I knew that it wasn't the right thing to do, but it took me a while to really accept it and say, okay, I need to start investing with a long-term mindset. I need to kind of lay off the margin trading, because investing in debt, it can be very dangerous, and I began to see that. And starting 2019, I started to reform my investment strategy. I started looking at companies' balance sheets, the income statement, the cash flow statements, looking at a company's debt load, making sure they had enough cash to cover short-term investments and debt, long-term debt. I started making fewer short-term moves, so the swing trades and day trades. I completely stopped day trading, I know that for sure. But I did, however, do some swing trades, but they were all profitable. In 2019, I didn't have a single loss in my realized gain or loss. They were all profits, but I had that mindset of investing for the long term. My only saving grace in 2018 was I continued to make regular deposits into my brokerage account. I think I deposited about $22,000 in my brokerage account for that year. So that's the only reason why my account rose in value for 2018. And I saw this and I was like, man, I could be making so much more money if I had invested that money with a long-term mindset, and I wouldn't have incurred those losses from the short-term trades. In 2019, I again was making regular contributions and ended up contributing $17,000 in my brokerage account that year. So I had a steady cash flow into my brokerage account to where I could then deploy into long-term investments. So at the end of 2019, I started seeing amazing results with long-term investing. My account appreciated 174% for the year of 2019. And I was astounded. I couldn't believe it. I was beating the market by astronomical numbers. And I was like, okay, this is the right strategy. I need to continue doing this. Now I have to mention one stock that really boosted my net worth, and that stock was Tesla. Tesla by far has been my best investment I've ever made. Still is my best investment. I still hold shares in my account today. However, I must admit, at the time the stock was going down back in, I believe it was 2019, 2018, 2019. I did kind of dabble with margin. However, whenever I was using margin to invest in Tesla, it was within moderation. I didn't really load the boat at once, and I didn't take out too much debt to invest in Tesla to where I couldn't cover the monthly debt repayments, and I knew that I wouldn't get a margin call because I was over leveraged. I was not necessarily over leveraged with Tesla. I knew that I could cover it, so it was within moderation. And as it was declining, I slowly built out my position, and it was very beneficial to me because margin, if when used properly, it can greatly combat what most investors have trouble with, and that's not having enough cash on the sidelines to deploy whenever your stocks are going down. So using margin can greatly combat opportunity cost. And when used with moderation, you can greatly benefit from using margin. Now, I don't recommend not having cash. It's better to use cash and keep it on the sidelines than not using it and resorting to margin. But if you see an opportunity and you know that this company is something that's going to be around in the next 5 to 10 years or is growing rapidly, using margin can be greatly beneficial. If you would like to see a more in-depth video about me discussing margin and how to effectively use margin, check the link down below on my previous video. So whenever I was invested in Tesla, I knew that the business was going to survive. A lot of people were saying that they were going to file bankruptcy and that they weren't going to be able to raise capital and that there was no demand. And I knew that there's a large negative sentiment going around, and it didn't make sense. It was overblown. You know that saying that Warren Buffett says, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. And it was true in my case whenever it came to Tesla. So I sort of have like a divided mindset about using margin. Whenever I was using it, I was using it within moderation and using it responsibly, not over leveraging myself. And margin can be a great tool to combat opportunity costs. And with Tesla, it would have been a huge opportunity cost for me because I did end up selling half of my position, my overall position, which incurred me a $30,000 profit. It's my best investment I made in my investment career, and I wouldn't have made that large of a gain if I didn't use margin responsibly. Yeah, I probably would have made a lot of money, but not nearly as much money as I did whenever I was investing near its bottoms. It was at multi-year lows in 2019, and I was able to pick up shares at that price, and I made over 270% on my money. So the returns were ridiculous. So the biggest takeaway from my story is to invest for the long term. Investing in the short term, it creates too many emotional responses that could inflict you to sell your shares and sell at a loss like I did. I was afraid that the stocks that I was holding would go down more and I would lose more money. But the biggest thing that people don't realize is that you don't lose or make money unless you sell your shares. So if you're investing with a long-term mindset, the stock price today doesn't matter. If you're investing for the long term, like the next 5 to 10 years, it doesn't matter what the price is today. It doesn't matter what's going on today. And with the markets now, it's really the best time to invest. When other people are fearful, it's the best time to get in because people are having those emotional reactions and are selling out their positions at a loss, and you could be that person to scoop up the shares, and whenever the market rebounds, which It almost always does. You'll be able to capitalize on this opportunity, and believe me, this is a once in 100-year event. So now's the time. So this isn't all about my investments. There were other factors that greatly contributed to me building my wealth, and that was, saving money and also cutting my expenses and living within my means. I really didn't spend that much money on other things. I was focused on investing and saving money. I would always try and find new ways to cut back my expenses. I used the budget and would review it almost every day, and would at times save receipts so I wouldn't forget to deduct it off my budget. And I would always review my budget, trying to figure out, okay, I'm spending too much money in this area. If I cut back on, going out to dinner, I can save this much money so I can invest in stocks. And at the time, I didn't really go out to dinner that much. I would cook at home, and found out that it was much more inexpensive to eat at home. I wouldn't really buy clothes regularly unless I needed it. And if I did buy clothes, it'd be, somewhere cheap like H&M. And, to me, clothes and the biggest wealth killer for someone is a car. And that car payment, the average car payment in the United States is around $500. It's ridiculous. I never understood the appeal for an expensive car, and while the thumbnail to this video may suggest that I bought a Tesla, I didn't. I love Tesla. It's definitely my dream car if I ever am able to afford one. Now, yes, I probably I can afford to buy a Tesla, but it doesn't make any financial sense for me, to buy a Tesla. I can make more money off of investing in Tesla stock and other stocks than I would a depreciating asset like a vehicle. And I understand, Tesla enthusiasts, that Teslas can maybe be considered an appreciating asset because of self-driving technology, but for right now, for me, it doesn't make much sense to invest in or to buy a Tesla. So thank you guys for watching this video. I know it was a long one, but I really wanted to share my story of how I went from making $0 to $100,000 in 3 years. And I just want to let you guys know that it really is possible. It does take the research, the time, and the discipline, but you can make good money in the stock market. If you guys wouldn't mind, please leave a like to this video and subscribe. It definitely took me a lot more planning and preparation to make this video, and I really wanted to be transparent and show you guys my story and my progress with investing in the stock market. So please like and subscribe so I can keep you updated on investment opportunities that will lead you to your financial endeavors. I'll see you guys next time.